Hello po mga ka-viral and welcome back again to this YouTube channel. Latest update na naman tayo ngayon. Kaliwat kanan ang pambabatikos na natatanggap ngayon ng Senado dahil sa naging kilos nila hinggil sa impeachment trial ng Vice President Sara Duterte. Supreme Court kumilos na din at pinapanagot ang Senado. Pati ang Kongreso ay pinadala na din ng Supreme Court ng letter para sagutin ang fourth impeachment complaint kung saan sinunod ba nila ng Kongreso ang impeachment procedure na one-year bar rule ng Article 11 Section 3, Paragraph 5 of the Constitution. May mga netizens ang nadidismaya at nananawagan na buwagin at i-abolish ang Senado dahil sa di umano'y biased at hindi pagsunod sa pagiging impartial bilang impeachment judge ng Senado. Pati sa dating Senior Supreme Court Justice Carpio ay sumali na din sa kilusang nananawagan para sa agarang impeachment at tinutulan ang maaaring hakbang ng Senado na pagdidismiss sa impeachment. Samantala, naninindigan pa rin ang Senado na mahalaga ang jurisdiction sa impeachment. Ayon kay Senator Escudero at Senator Cayetano ay maaaring mabasura o madismiss ang impeachment dahil sa question of jurisdiction. Kung may paglabag sa one-year bar rule of the Constitution, nanindigan si Escudero na walang sinuman ang maaaring makapagdikta sa Senado. Aniya, the Senate has the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. Anumang motion ay hindi bawal dahil wala umanong nalalagay sa Constitution na bawal ang gumawa ng motion. Nirerespeto umano nila ang opinyon ng mga legal luminaries, law deans, and law professors, pati na rin ang opinyon ng dating Senior Supreme Court Justice Carpio. Subalit tangi ang Senado lamang di umano ang binibigyan ng kapangyarihan ng saligang batas na magpasya sa anumang impeachment ng isang opisyal.
Good morning po, Kong. Babalik lang po ako sa SWS survey kung saan majority ng Filipinos agree na dapat harapin ni VP Sara yun pong impeachment trial para po i-address yung pong corruption allegation. In that same survey, majority rin po ng mga Pilipino sa Mindanao, particularly 55% agree na dapat pong i-address ni VP Sara yung allegation sa kanya on corruption sa formal impeachment proceedings. What does it show na pati po sa Mindanao kung saan may impluensya po yung mga Duterte ay mataas din po yung percentage ng mga Filipino na nag-a-agree?
I think it shows that the stance taken by the Vice President when the matter was being investigated by Congress ay hindi satisfied ang taong bayan, pati yung mga kapatid at kababayan natin sa Mindanao. And I think it's about time that there be more transparency. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan naman natin dito, hindi pera ng isang tao lang, pera ng buong bansa yan. Kailangan magkaroon ng pananagutan, kailangan malaman ng tao kung paano at saan ginamit yung pera na nanggaling sa atin lahat.
Ano naman po sa tingin niyo po yung implication na habang nabibinbin po yung proseso ng impeachment ay tumataas po yung public awareness kaugnay po ng issue?
Yes, and the longer the longer it takes for the impeachment trial to happen, talagang tataas at tataas yan sa tingin ko because we only have so much patience. Ito ay isang utos ng ating konstitusyon na dapat matagal nang nagawa o nasunod pero hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa rin nangyayari.
Last on my part na lang po regarding po sa SC resolution na nanghihingi po ng karagdagang dokumento at information sa Kamara kaugnay po ng impeachment complaints na inihain po against the Vice President. Kayo po ba as isa po sa mga mauupong House Prosecutor when the 20th Congress convenes, do you believe na hindi mag-i-issue ng TRO ang SC?
Well, ganito na isinampay yung mga petisyon na yan way back in February of this year. And up to now, wala pa naman lumalabas na temporary restraining order or injunction ang Supreme Court. Doon sa issue ng paglabas ng kanilang recent directive sa House of Representatives at sa Senado, ito lang sa tingin ko magkakaroon ng isang malaking question o debate within the legal community and even within the different branches of our government. Kasi kailangan mabalanse natin yung kapangyarihan ng Supreme Court to check grave abuse of discretion with the sole power put in the impeachment court by the Constitution. Nakalagay kasi sa konstitusyon natin, pagka mag-convene ang ating Senate bilang impeachment court, sila lang ang may kapangyarihan. Sabi nga ang wording ng Konstitusyon, the sole power to try and decide the case. Ngayon, a balance has to be struck between that exclusive power given to the Senate as an impeachment court and the power given to the Supreme Court to check grave abuse of discretion. I think that will be an underlying issue that arose from the issuance of that directive by the Supreme Court. I fully respect the Supreme Court. I know ito ay isang pending case, kaya meron tayong sub judice rule. Pinapoint out ko lang po na maaaring maging issue itong bagay na ito.
So, follow up lang po, Kong. So, you believe na it's far from happening, yung pag-i-issue ng TRO ng Supreme Court on the petitions filed against the impeachment case?
Very hard for me to put myself in the minds of the members of the court. Hindi ko talaga masasabi kung it's very hard for me to answer your question because I really don't know what the court is disposed to do.
Thank you, Rose. We will acknowledge Agatha Gregorio from ABS-CBN for her questions.
Good morning po, Kong. So regarding naman po yung impeachment din po, especially yung SWS survey po na nabanggit kanina, you mentioned din po na the public clamor could impact yung impeachment court po. Do you think this is enough po to influence the Senate to push through the trial more and stop yung so-called delays nga po?
You know, in my experience in all the previous impeachment cases that I was involved in, malaking bagay talaga yung public clamor. Mula pa noong impeachment case ni dating Pangulong Estrada hanggang ngayon, it's always been a factor because sabi nga nila, hindi lang naman legal ang isang impeachment, kundi political din. And the senators also are, many of them are up for re-election in the future. So iniisip din malamang nila kung ano yung magiging epekto ano yung mga nasa sa isip ng ating publiko.
And then kayo po, have you met with the other House prosecutors since po talked about the second requirement po?
Well, I have had discussions with the prosecution teams, pero dahil hindi pa naman ako official nakabahagi ng prosecution panel, I have not taken part in any of their meetings. I think that we'll have to wait until I am officially appointed, if ever, by the 20th Congress.
And regarding po yung resolutions of both houses po for charter change, do you think enough po yung time given yung impeachment nga po and then we're halfway through with the Marcos administration po?
Sa tingin ko, well, you raise a very good point. Sa tingin ko, wala kukulangin talaga ng oras yan para ma-address yung both houses resolution.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you, Agatha. Pamela Vasquez from DZMM.
Good morning po, Kong. Kanina po kasi nagkaroon ng briefing ang OVP and sinabi nga po nila na the Vice President is eager nga to be able to present her evidence and yet meron nga pong ganitong delays. Ang paliwanag naman po ni OVP spokes Ruth Castelo ay her lawyers are taking legal remedies or strategies that are allowable in court. So may I get lang po yung reaction on this?
Well, we welcome the statement of the Office of the Vice President that they want to have the trial proceed. And we hope that that is exactly what will happen. Hindi lang naman sila, buong Pilipinas ang nag-iintay na malitis na itong kaso.
And then on another lang po na sinabi nga na handa rin po silang tumalima and in case the SC says na the impeachment should proceed. Pero may sinabi din po siya na in case the SC says it cannot be heard at this time. And then ito po yung sinabi niya, we'll be very lucky as a country because we'll save millions and millions of money on a trial that is technically defective from the very beginning. And she also added na huwag nang magsayang ng resources sa bansa na pwede pang maibigay sa ibang programa kaysa sa trial na mate-technical din sa dulo.
Unang-una, dapat siguro maalala natin kung saan nagbunga yung impeachment case. Yan ay resulta ng pag-iimbestiga ng ating mga kongresista, mga committees ng House of Representatives at maraming pagkakataon ang ibinigay kay Vice President Sara Duterte na ipaliwanag yung kanyang sarili pagdating sa mga issue ng budget, ng OVP, etc. Pero hindi nga niya, she did not take advantage of those opportunities which left everybody hanging and everybody wondering, ano ba talaga ang nangyari? Kung sana naisagot na niya yung mga lumalabas noon sa mga investigasyon ng Kongreso, ay maaaring hindi na tayo umabot sa ganito. But because of that recalcitrance, the people deserve transparency, the people deserve accountability. Kailangan malaman natin kung ano ba talaga yung nangyari at talaga bang nagkaroon ng mga impeachable offenses si Vice President Duterte. And it's about time that we respect the process in the Constitution for holding high government officials accountable.
Thank you, Pam. Marian Enriquez from TV5. Go ahead.
Morning, sir. Kanina you mentioned na yung mismo yung utos ng saligang batas, ano? Na pag dumating na po yung impeachment complaint, ituturing na articles of impeachment at agad-agad kailangan ng...
In the latest SWS survey, 66% of the respondents said they agree that Vice President Duterte should address the allegations in the impeachment. 19% disagree and 15% are undecided. Your comment po.
Well, tingin ko matagal nang iniintay ng sambayan ng Pilipino na makita ang ebidensya ng prosecution laban doon sa impeachment case. At yun mismo ang utos ng ating saligang batas na pag dumating yung verified complaint na may pirma ng at least 1/3 ng members ng House, yan ay ituturing na articles of impeachment at agad-agad kailangan magkaroon na ng trial. Pag sinabi natin trial, ang ibig sabihin nun ay yung mismong paghaharap ng ebidensya, pag-uupo ng mga testigo para malaman natin kung ano ba talaga ang kaso. Hindi lang, sa impeachment kasi hindi lang naman ang mga senators ang naghuhusga. Pati lahat tayo mga Pilipino ay judge din. Dahil, di ba, ang kasabihan natin sa konstitusyon ay public office is a public trust. And that trust must never be abused or violated. Thank you, Tina.
Sir, isa pa po. May impact po ba yung public clamor sa Senate Impeachment Court and sa Supreme Court?
Well, tingin ko naman lahat ng mga nasa pamahalaan ay sensitive sa public opinion. Whether they will admit it or not, that is always a factor, especially for elected officials. Pero para sa akin, talaga yung dapat mangibabaw dito ay ano ba yung utos ng ating saligang batas? At sa akin, malinaw yon. Conduct the trial now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Mela Lismoras from PTV4 is now recognized.
Hi, good morning po, Kong Jock, no? Balikan ko lang po yung priority measures nyo na nabanggit kanina kasi kahapon lang inaprubahan na rin ni President Marcos yung proposed 6.793
Congressman Chel.
Okay.
Sir, sa kakabit ng SONA ni Pangulo ay yung mga pangyayari na mag-elect ng bagong liderato ng Kongreso. Pero ang isa po sa malaking inaabangan ay of course yung pagko-convene ng Senate Impeachment Court o yung pagsisimula na mismo ng pre-trial or trial proper. Sa araw na rin po na yon ay baka official na rin po kayong na-appoint sa plenaryo ng Kamara bilang House Impeachment Prosecutor. Sir, what's the ideal date for the Senate Impeachment Court na simulan agad after the SONA, yung pagtalakay sa impeachment trial ni Vice President Sara Duterte?
Noong June, kung maalala ko, naglabas ng calendar ang Senate, si Senate President Escudero. At ang naalala kong nakalagay na petsa doon ay July 29, which is the day after the SONA. Whatever date the Senate sets, we will be ready. But of course, the sooner the trial begins, the better for the country. Kaya inaasahan namin na agad-agad magkakaroon na ng trial pagbukas ng 20th Congress.
Sir, follow-up, should there be any tedious debate still on the Senate para lang masimulan yung impeachment trial?
Wala na dapat. Puro debate na lang ang nangyayari. Pero para sa akin, malinaw naman ang utos ng konstitusyon. I-trial na itong kasong ito.
Thank you, sir. Lihis lang po ako sa ibang topic. Kahapon po nag-file si Congressman Abante nung total ban nga po ng lahat ng forms ng online gambling. Pero ang akbayan po ay, as I understand, yung final niyo po ay restrictive or strict regulation. Can you explain lang po bakit ganun po yung track na gustong tahakin ng akbayan versus online gambling?
Well, I'm sure magiging point of debate yan. Hindi lang sa House of Representatives, pati sa Senado at sa publiko. Yung isang issue kasi dyan ay pag ginawa natin yung total ban, ang isang malaking maaring mangyayari ay totally mag-underground itong mga online gambling platforms. At mas mahihirapan ng pamahalaan na sugpuin yung problema. If we can see them and then closely monitor and regulate them, ang pananaw ng akbayan ay mas practical na solusyon yon. But if, this is something that I'm sure will be discussed on the floor. At handa naman ng akbayan na ipaglaban yung aming posisyon. Of course, at the end of the day, it will be a decision of the House as a House.
Follow-up na lang din po, sir, kasi kakabit sa mga storya sunod-sunod na umeere yung sa Sugal ay yung kaso ng missing sa Bongeros. Meron pong mga reports na although ongoing pa rin po yung investigation and retrieval operations ng PCG. Ano lang pong may kokomento ninyo na posibleng may link yung mga buto na nakuha sa Taal doon sa sinasabi ng whistleblower dito po sa kaso ng missing sa Bongeros, sir?
Yung issue na yan, kailangan makapagkonsulta ang ating pamahalaan sa mga forensic experts. And I think it's about time na maging mas scientific yung ating approach sa pag-iimbestiga ng mga kaso. Isa sa mga sinusulong ko kahit noon pa bilang isang human rights defender ay magkaroon tayo ng isang independent forensics laboratory na wala sa chain of command ng PNP, na andyan ang mga taga-academe para sure tayo na kung maglalabas sila ng mga findings and conclusions, we can be sure that they are based on science. Yung minsan kasi sa aking experience bilang isang abogado at human rights defender, nagiging basis ng mga prosecution ay testimonya lang. Pero alam naman natin lahat, pati kayo sa media, alam niyo naman lahat na pwedeng magbago ang sinasabi ng isang testigo. Ang hindi pwedeng baguhin, yung mga scientific facts based on proper investigation.
Sir, last na lang po. Kong Benny Abante says dapat Quadcom yung fitting na komite na humawak ng missing sa Bongeros pati yung online gambling legislation and investigation. Would you actively join the Quadcom, sir?
Well, it's too early at this point to say what committees will be formed. But of course, any committee that will push for accountability, I would be most willing to participate in.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Senator Villanueva also said in the same press conference na I hope the Supreme Court will immediately resolve the petitions regarding the impeachment to make sure that we, referring to the Senate, are on the right track. That's what he said. Indication ba to na baka gamitin na naman ng Senado yung unresolved petitions questioning the legality of the impeachment before the Supreme Court para hindi mag-convene as Senate Impeachment Court para ma-delay po yung trial?
Delay, medyo na-delay, no? Hindi, ano naman yan, kung ano man ang utos sa atin ng Korte Suprema, kung ano man ang mga kailangan nila, well, the House, the Senate, di mag-comply tayo. Any kind of communication, any kind po na kailangan nila, magko-comply naman wala namang problema doon. Pero sabi nga, klarong-klaro naman po sa ating saligang batas na the impeachment court is an entity on its own. Kaya sabi ko rin po nung nakaraang ambush interview natin, the Senate will try and the Senate must try. No matter what.
Sir, follow-up lang. So, hindi, they should not use that as an excuse to, hold the trial in abeyance?
May mga tanong din kasi. So, kailangan nating respetuhin yung mga binato na questions sa Supreme Court. Pero again, kabisado niyo na itong linya ko. It's a leadership call. It's the impeachment court has already constituted itself. Sila na yan eh.
Last, sir, on my part. The spokesperson of the Vice President, si Ruth Castello, said yesterday that the country will be able to save millions if the Supreme Court decides to rule in favor of the Vice President. Na yun nga, hindi magkakatrial.
Yeah.
Wala na impeachment trial. The
Siguro
impeachment
kailangan
is
niya
void.
kailangan niya ng cost-benefit analysis kasi she can't be throwing around statements like that. Aralin muna nilang maigi. And that, again, it's her opinion. So, opinion kontra opinion lang to. Maganda siguro aralin din nila yun.
Sir, at this point, with the trial yet to proceed, so wala pang basehan yung kanyang statement, would you say?
Siguro premature. Baka, sabi ko nga, opinion lang niya talaga. So, ilan yung savings, ilan yung matitipid, saan nanggaling yung hugot niya. So, baka sa next na press con niya, maglabas siya ng matrix. Eh, syempre, di ba, what gets measured gets done. So, kung binabato mo lang yan for the sake of, di ba, sound bites, di okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lenesca. Marian Enriquez from TV5, go ahead with your questions.
Sir, dagdagan ko lang no, yung sa tanong ni Ate Leonesca, doon sa sinabi ni spokes Ruth Castello, sinabi nga po niya, we'll be very lucky actually as a country because we'll save millions and millions of money on a trial that is technically defective from the beginning. So tinawag din po niya defektibo itong impeachment case against VP Sara.
Well, it's not defective as per my opinion. So, I guess you better reconsider her statements po. Pero syempre, normal naman na sasabihin niya yun. Again, millions and millions. How many millions? Kaya, saan sa makakatipid na banda? So, pag nasagot siguro yung mga tanong na ganun, baka makonvince ako dun sa argument niya.
Sir, meron pong final na bill si Senator Amy Marcos, Senate Bill number 557 or the President Rodrigo Roa Duterte bill, which penalizes and criminalizes extraordinary renditions. Sabi po niya, what happened to President Duterte should never happen again. Under this measure po kasi pinagbabawal na yung pag-imbestiga, pag-aresto, pag-detain, and pag-transfer ng any individual po to other countries or any international court kung walang consent and kung walang local warrant. What do you think about this bill?
Final naman nila na bill yan eh. So pagdedebatihan nila yan sa Senate, actually I'm quite intrigued kung paano nila pag-uusapan yan dun sa Senate. Gusto kong abangan actually. Tingnan natin kung paano yung tulay niyan, yung bill na yan. Kasi parang nakaka-intriga eh. Na parang may isang tao lang tayo na di ba dapat hindi exclusive ang bill eh. Pero nagigets ko naman yung point niya, it shouldn't happen to anyone. So, aralin natin, panuurin natin, tingnan natin kung anong, pagdedebatihan yan, I'm sure, may engage yan yung 24 na senators natin. And I'm sure, baka meron ding parallel dito sa House, or meron ding bill contradicting the type of bill they're espousing in the Senate. So,
Last na lang po on my part. Hingin ko na lang din po yung reaction niyo po kasi yesterday in a press conference, sabi po ni Senator Joel Villanueva, they're looking at August 4 to reconvene as an impeachment court. And yung sabi niya po, I quote, it looks like we are going to wait for 1 week to organize ourselves at ang House ganun din po. And then a week after, we can convene the impeachment court and have the defense and the prosecution present their cases. So from the original proposed calendar na July 30, yun pong start of the trial, it seems like mauusod dahil po August 4 daw po magre-reconvene yung impeachment court. Can we get your reaction po?
well, sabi ko, consistent naman tayo, no? Di ba? Sabi ko nga, it's well in the hands of the Senate. Scheduling, the different changes in schedule. May mga ganun naman na mangyayari eh. So, may mga unpredictable tayong scenarios na ano. Pero sabi ko nga, and if they maintain the calendar and their schedule, di okay naman with the House of Representatives yun. Kasi nga, I think the prosecution is also waiting for this. Ang taong bayan naghihintay din. To take it more lightly, siguro, may formal schedule naman, may formal na communication. Hindi naman yata, ewan ko, kung text-text na lang ang mangyayari sa susunod ng mga schedule, pero definitely, we will take the lead of the Senate for this one.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Rose. We will take the next question from Kat Porbes of Radio Pilipinas.
Ay, Kong Paolo. Follow up lang po dun sa August 4 po na sinabi po ng Senate na pag-reconvene nila. Sa inyo pong panig, ano po yung inyong mensahe kay VP Sara na at least ngayon meron na pong definite schedule na magsisimula na yung impeachment process na sabi din niya ready daw siya to face, willing siya to face yung impeachment process. Although, yun nga, parang medyo ironically, meron pa rin siyang mga motion for dismissal na nakahain sa Senate Impeachment Court, yung prayer, and even with the Supreme Court.
Yung defense team niya is probably on top of it. So, ika-calendar na lang nila yun. Malamang iti-text siya nung team. Tapos, dapat ready na rin sila by then. And, dapat mag-push na rin po siguro yung date na yun. At sabi ko nga, abangan natin kung magkakaroon ng changes. But, wala. Prep naman na, I'm sure prep na rin yung both sides. So, mahaba na rin po yung time na inantay natin. So, calendar lang sa phone o kaya text siya na ito yung dates schedule natin. So, ganun lang. Yeah, prepare for both sides. And actually, the Senate should prepare also. Kasi pinaghandaan na rin naman na nila. So, bagong Congress na rin to. So,
Sir, sa taong bayan po, ano po yung maipapayo ninyo